We want to make a film about communication, and we want to find out if it's the problem between young people and adults at the moment.
In what context? Sorry, I'm not being facetious. I guess I'm having a hard time answering that question because I don't know if I see a communication gap. Communication gap. Communication gap.
Some of them are great, some of them aren't.
There's a lack of communication between older people and young people.
Yeah, I think there is, but I think in some ways there kind of almost always has been. That a kind of young generation has to develop its own ideas, its own way of seeing the world and its own way of thinking. And although you need that communication to be better, you don't want it to be absolutely seamless and the same, because you as a generation have to shape the world in the way that you want it to be.
Youth is youth. It's been youth for generations. Whether it was when I was growing up or when my dad was growing up, there's always been conflict, there's always been challenges. I think the media is allowing that to become much more visible to the general public.
The press, the media are over hyping it, and I think that in itself is a dangerous thing, because then it becomes kind of cool to go along with it because it's in the press.
I mean, what do you feel can be done to make the communication between adults and young people better?
I think there's always the traditional thing of adults wanting young people to come to them. And what I learned certainly through having teenage children and going through that is that I have to actually approach them. I have to go into their space and hopefully attract them, or if you like, interest them enough to come a little bit into my space and sort of have a conversation around some of these things.
Personally, I think the best way of doing that is to sit down and have a meal together. So it is about asking questions, but it's about how you ask them and how you learn from people. And you do that by sitting down and talking, really.
The single most important thing is just talking to people, and that's how you get your opportunities and that's how you learn.
I think the message has to be to adults and to politicians and people like that they're the ones that need to do the listening, not do the talking. You know, someone once told me that you have 2 ears and 1 mouth and you should use them in that proportion. So listen first before you speak.
Okay, so they're watching the film. Yeah. They're watching the film. They've just seen it. You're just finishing it off.
Yeah. We hope you liked our film. It's good to talk. That's not going to be up there, is it? Oh, please don't.